Hey, welcome in. Please go ahead and take a seat. I'm absolutely thrilled you could make it for this explainer today. Now, for the next few minutes, I want you to think of me not just as a host, but as your personal life wealth advisor. We are going to do a comprehensive top-to-bottom review of your overall portfolio, and we're drawing directly from the incredibly eye-opening concepts in the Die with Zero's source material. But look, fair warning right up front. We are not just going to sit here and crunch standard financial reports or look at real estate assets. No, we are going to fundamentally rethink what it actually means to be wealthy. So get ready to completely shift your perspective on everything you thought you knew about saving for the future. I want to kick off our session today with a seriously provocative question. What good is a massive retirement fund if you are quite literally too tired to spend it? Right? We are constantly fed these traditional financial lessons that drill into us to just hoard our money, save, 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 all for the very end of our lives. But as the source material points out so bluntly, so many of us end up saving for a life we are never actually going to live. You're out there working tirelessly, building this giant mountain of cash for a future version of yourself that simply won't have the physical ability to enjoy it. It's time we challenge that whole equation. Okay, let's dive straight into the itinerary for today's consultation. First up, we'll outline your new wealth portfolio. Second, earning your memory dividends. Third, allocating by life seasons. And finally, number 4, we will lock in the Die with Zero strategy. All right, Section 1, your new wealth portfolio, shifting from net worth to fulfillment. This is exactly where we completely redefine how we measure your ultimate success. Think about the traditional plan we are all taught. You know the drill. Delayed gratification is the ultimate discipline. And sure, yes, having discipline is important, obviously. But as the material brilliantly highlights, if you take that delayed gratification to the extreme, you aren't just delaying financial rewards. You are actively delaying the process of living your actual life. Now contrast that with a completely new portfolio approach, which entirely flips the script. Instead of endless, grueling delays, we're talking about actively accumulating quality of life experiences right now. We are moving away from building sheer net worth, and instead we're focusing purely on net fulfillment. Listen, if you take away absolutely nothing else from our meeting today, let it be this. Your life is not measured in net worth. True wealth is measured in quality experiences. Really think about it. When you look back at the end of your life, a massive bank statement isn't going to give you a warm, fuzzy feeling. What actually gives you joy are the meaningful experiences and the deep relationships you've built along the way. Hoarding cash while letting your absolute prime years just slip by, that is a massive, massive vulnerability in your life portfolio. And frankly, we need to fix it immediately. And that brings us right into Section 2, earning your memory dividends, the compounding power of joy. We're going to borrow a classic finance term here and totally repurpose it. What is so fascinating about this concept is how we can take the raw financial power of compounding interest and directly apply it to your personal memories. Memory dividends are the continuous, ongoing joy you get every single time you look back on a great experience. Just like money you invest early in the stock market grows exponentially over time, experiences you invest in early in your life yield emotional returns for decades. Every time you tell a crazy story, or look at an old photo, or just laugh about a past adventure with a friend, you are literally cashing a dividend check from that specific memory. So, for those of you who are in or maybe looking back at that 25 to 35 age group, this is a critical, absolute, must-act investment window. The source material emphasizes that this is the exact time to master physical experiences. You need to prioritize those big adventures and build deep relationships early on. Do not over-delay your gratification here. You simply have to capitalize on your peak physical energy. Because guess what? You won't always have this physical capital. You need to make these life investments while you still have the body that can actually handle them. Welcome to your memory retirement. By intentionally investing in these high-quality, high-impact experiences during your younger years, you are actively funding a memory retirement account. Later in life, when your physical energy naturally fades, because it will, this is the account you will draw your joy from. You aren't going to be relying on the limited things you can do at 80. You'll be happily living off the compounding dividends of the amazing things you did at 30. Which builds perfectly into Section 3, allocating by life seasons. Timing your energy assets. Because just like any good investment strategy out there, timing is absolutely everything. Let's look at the core dilemma of human life. In your 20s, you've got abundant time and crazy high energy, but usually zero wealth. Then you hit your 40s. The wealth starts growing, but suddenly your time just vanishes because of your career and family, even though your energy is still pretty decent.
But then, look at age 65 and older. It's a tragic irony. You finally have all this abundant time again, and you probably have the most wealth you've ever had in your life. But your energy? As the source bluntly puts it, energy bad. You simply lack the physical energy to actually utilize all that wealth you spent decades building. So, as your advisor, I need you to allocate your assets according to these specific life seasons. Between your 20s and 40s, this is the window for explosive action. This is when your energy is at its absolute peak. Then, from 45 to 65, you enter what is called the comfort condition. You can definitely still do a lot, but you are naturally starting to slow down. And 65 plus, that phase is for reflection, rest, and living off those memory dividends we just talked about. You absolutely must execute your high-yield, physically demanding memory investments during that early, explosive window.
Let's put this into perspective with what I like to call the skydiving test. The source actually mentions skydiving as a prime example of a specific portfolio choice. If you want to go skydiving, or backpack across rough, mountainous terrain, or get into extreme sports, are you really going to wait until your late 60s to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Yeah, your knees might have a very different opinion by then. Delaying extreme physical adventures until your comfort condition or your traditional retirement years is a fundamentally flawed strategy. Your physical capital will be depleted. Buy the experience when your body can actually cash the check.
And that brings us to our final section today. Section 4, the Die with Zero strategy, the ultimate exit plan. This is the ultimate overarching goal of your newly optimized life portfolio. To actually execute this strategy, we need to implement 3 very distinct steps. Step 1, recognize and deeply accept that your physical energy will inevitably decline. You just cannot fight biology. Step 2, knowing that, you need to drastically increase your spending on meaningful memories right now, in the present. Stop putting your entire life on layaway. And step 3, the ultimate goal is to arrive at the finish line with 0 financial regrets, knowing you have squeezed every single drop of fulfillment out of your resources. So our guiding philosophy moving forward is exactly this. Aim to die with 0. Increase meaningful memories. Don't just leave behind government records and bank statements. What an incredibly powerful, paradigm-shifting way to look at things, right? If you die with a massive pile of money you never used, you haven't won the game of life. You've literally just worked for free to leave behind high-score numbers on a digital screen. We want to build a rich, meaningful life, not just a spotless financial record. As we wrap up this explainer consultation, I'm actually going to leave you with a bit of homework. It's a simple but totally provocative question you need to ask yourself. Moving forward, will you optimize your life for a bank statement or for a life well lived? Remember, your younger years are precious, and those memory dividends are just waiting to be funded. It is time to start cashing in on life. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope this completely changes how you view your life's portfolio.